Slack versus Teams, which is better for business? Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to do a quick comparison between Slack and Teams, and we're going to be taking a look at the different features and price points available on both of these platforms. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is, before I get into the pricing of both of these platforms, I'm actually going to show you the platforms themselves. So we're going to start off with Slack, and I'm going to show you guys what the Slack communication platform will actually look like once it is functional and how you are going to be using Slack, and then we're going to take a look at Teams as well. So you can see that I have created a channel over here, or a workspace over here on Slack, and I have called this marketing. Now, if you click on the marketing section over here, you can invite people, you can create different channels, you can set preferences, settings, administration tools, general tools, and you can add different workspaces on a singular account as well. And you also have a desktop application and a mobile application for Slack, as well as Microsoft Teams. Now, if we actually take a look at the general Slack settings, so you're gonna see you have all of your unread messages, DMs, mentions, and reactions, saved items, so you can find everything related to you over here. Then you have a channel browser, file browser, so you can look for specific files from this file browser, and this really helps you in finding important files from all of your different channels. So when you're looking for something specific and you can't find it in a certain channel, finding it in the file browser is a lot easier. So these are some features that I really do like about Slack, and I don't find that there is a real equivalent over for these kinds of features on MS Teams. Now, after that, you have your channel browser, your people and user groups, and general application integration. Then if you take a look at the applications, you can integrate several different applications like your Google Drive, your Zoom account, your Dropbox, your Gmail accounts, your Slack for Outlook, your stand-up bot. So you can add a bunch of stuff to the actual Slack platform. Now below that, you have your channels, and you can see over here that you can create as many channels as you want. So just like that, it's pretty simple. And then you have your channel's read indicator to mark a message whenever there is an unread message. And then you have your direct messages below that, so you can see any of your direct communications with a specific teammate over here. So this is how simple and easy to use the Slack platform is, and I find that the navigation plane on Slack is pretty self-explanatory. You don't really need to wander around on Slack, and you can easily get the job done. It doesn't complicate things. It doesn't ever make it difficult for you to actually be using the Slack platform. Now on Slack, if you take a look at the top right over here, you have your account. You can update your statuses and add different statuses accordingly with a emoticon of your choice. Now after that, in your general settings, you have your pause notification. So if you want to have like a do not disturb time, you can mark that as well. Then you have your general profile preferences and sign out of marketing. So you can create different workspaces, and if I sign out of this workspace, I can go on. I'm just going to click on sign in with Google. I'm going to continue with my Google account. Now you can see over here that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sign out of marketing over here. And then I can sign in with another Gmail account or Apple account, or I can sign in with my email address or password. So that is how easy it is to use Slack. Now, if we take a look at MS Teams, that is also a very great communication platform for you and your team. And the namesake Teams is a lot more self-explanatory because it allows you more communication between the team. And you can see over here, Teams is pretty predominant in education. And the best part about Teams is that you have your application integration with all Microsoft applications. So any Microsoft apps that you might be using, you can easily find over here. Now, after that, if you take a look at your left, you have your navigation plane, which is also marked by a red notification every time there is an unread message or there is a call going on. And then you have your general account settings on the top right over here. You have shortcuts and about, and then you have your account over here. Now, after that, if you take a look, you can find your activity feed. You have a general chat application over here. You can have private calls and chats with different teams. Then you can go onto your team section over here and create as many teams as you want. And this is one thing that I like and dislike both about Teams, is that you can create so many teams and it's very easy to get lost in your teams. So that is something that I find to be a bit irritating, because you have the ability to create so many different categories. You might be just creating too much for yourself. And after that, you have your assignments or whatever kind of tasks you might have. You can assign those over here. Then you have one-on-one calls, so any specific phone calls can be monitored from here, and then you have your contact section as well. You also have speed dial, so if you want to have certain people on speed dial, you can add those as well. Now below that you have your files section, so you can find different files that are related to your entire team workspace over here, and this is something that is also pretty helpful, as I said, on Slack as well as Teams, is that you can find different files on this simple file section. Now below that you have your general calendar, which I find to be a little upper-handed, a little better than Slack, because Slack doesn't allow you this kind of navigation plane as a calendar for you to add different tasks like this. So over here I can just add like a specific meeting task, or I can add descriptions for the meeting, and I can add like meeting details, what the meeting is about, all of that good stuff over here. Now after that you have your general education stuff. It's really not that important for a business, but they do have a lot of business features as well if you do want to use these. So now if we take a look at the prices of both of these platforms, both have a free version and different paid versions. Starting off with Slack, you can get access to over 10,000 of your team's most recent messages. You can have 10 integrations and one-to-one voice calls, where you also get a 5 GB storage space and one workspace on Slack. So on the free version, you can only create one workspace on Slack, which is a limitation, but you still do have two-factor authentication. You can listen to unlimited general channels. You have a limited general channel setting as well, and you also do get voice calls and audio calls on one-on-one, but you don't get screen sharing on the free version of Slack, which is a pretty irritating feature comparing to Microsoft Teams, where you get a unlimited group member meeting for over 60 minutes. You have 100 participants per meeting. You also get 5 GB of cloud storage with unlimited chat with coworkers and customers, file sharing, tasks and polling, and so much more. And you also get a general number of user limit, where you have a file attachment in chat with 2 GB of storage, so you can add 2 GB files onto each of your chat boxes. And then you have a 5 GB of storage that is all across the team, so that is something that you need to see, that you're getting more storage and more out of the plan on the free version of Microsoft Teams as compared to Slack. Now in the paid versions, they're pretty close. So the pro version of Slack starts at $6.67, where the essentials version starts at $4, and then you have the basic version that starts at $5, and then the business standard, which is the $12 version, where Slack starts at business plus with $12, and then the enterprise grade. So the enterprise grade I'm just going to exclude, because that is just for businesses that are super large and that have a lot of different business needs. But if we were to take a look at the pro and business plus version, you can see that they both stack up pretty closely to the essentials and business basic version of Teams. They both have screen sharing, customized backgrounds, together mode, schedule meetings, and you can do all of the same things on Slack as well. So you have 10 GB of storage, 20 GB of storage per team member. And then if you take a look at the storage on the essentials and basic version, you have 10 GB of cloud storage per user on the essentials. So this pro plan and the essentials plan stacks up pretty close. And then the business plus version of Slack does lag behind a little bit, because they give you 20 GB of storage per team member, while you have an expanded cloud storage of 1 TB per user on the basic version of the Microsoft Teams. So I would recommend that if you're looking to upgrade, then you should maybe try out the essentials version or the pro version of Slack, which are pretty much the same. The free version is totally dependent on what you prefer in terms of general usability of the platform. But if I was to recommend the higher priced version, I would recommend the Teams version, because on the business basic version of Teams, you do get a lot more storage and you do get a lot more simple features that are just going to make your day-to-day easier. And if you do prefer the Slack platform, that is totally up to you. But I do suggest that for the first two versions, you can go for either, but the business version on Microsoft is a bit better than the Slack version in my opinion. So that was it for today. I hope you guys found this video helpful and you're now able to choose the communication panel for your team or your business. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.